In February 1978, 5 young men went to watch a basketball game in Chico, California. They enjoyed the game, talked with friends, and showed no signs of stress or unusual behavior. When the game ended, they left together in Jack Madruga's car and were expected to return home that same night. They never did. The 5 men were Gary Mathias, Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Ted Weiher, and Jackie Hoot. All of them lived structured lives and followed routines. Their families later said it was extremely unlike them to disappear without explanation. None of them had plans to travel, camp, or explore the mountains. Several days later, their car was discovered on a remote mountain road. The location immediately raised questions. The road led away from their homes and toward higher elevation. Snow was present and the temperature was well below freezing at night. The car itself showed no signs of trouble. It was not crashed. It was not seriously stuck. The fuel tank was not empty. The battery worked. The doors were unlocked. There was no sign of a struggle. Nothing suggested an emergency that forced them to leave the vehicle. What followed is the most difficult part to explain. From where the car was found, the men had a clear choice. Downhill was safety. Towns, roads, and help were all closer in that direction. Instead, they walked uphill into the mountains, into deeper snow and harsher conditions. Search efforts began, but progress was slow due to weather. Weeks later, the first body was found. He had died from exposure. His location suggested he had been walking for a long time in the cold, without proper clothing or protection. Months passed before the next discoveries. One of the men was found inside a Forest Service trailer. This trailer was designed for emergencies. Inside were canned food, dry supplies, blankets, and a heating system. The man inside the trailer had been alive for weeks, possibly months. Evidence showed he had tried to stay warm. However, the food was barely touched. He starved to death despite having supplies that could have kept him alive. Other members of the group were found scattered along the route between the car and the trailer. Their positions suggested they had moved together for a long distance, then slowly separated. Each death pointed to cold, exhaustion, and starvation. One man, Gary Mathias, was never found. No remains, no clothing, no personal items. He simply vanished. This detail remains critical because Gary had military experience and basic survival skills. If anyone could have helped the group survive, it would have been him. The actions of the group continued to confuse investigators and researchers. They abandoned a working car. They chose the more dangerous direction. They failed to use shelter and food correctly. None of their decisions align with normal survival instincts. There is no confirmed explanation for what caused this chain of decisions. No clear trigger. No moment where everything clearly went wrong. Only a series of choices that led deeper into danger. The Yuba County Five case remains unsettling, not because of violence or crime, but because it shows how people can disappear and die without any clear reason, leaving behind questions that still have no answers.